There are moments in history that change everything. This is one of them. The Israelites had escaped slavery. They had crossed the Red Sea. They had seen miracles no one could deny, but now they stood at the foot of a mountain that shook with thunder. Mount Sinai burned with fire. Smoke rose like a furnace. The ground trembled. God was about to speak, not to one man, not to a king, but to an entire nation. These were not random rules. They were not meant to control, but to guide. God was forming a people, a nation built not on power, but on responsibility, justice, and holiness. Then the voice came, clear, unmistakable, eternal. God began with loyalty, not politics, not behavior, but the heart. Nothing, no idol, no power, no desire was to come before him. Freedom begins with knowing who you serve. This is the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. Next, no carved image, no object made by human hands. God refused to be reduced, shaped, or controlled. What we worship shapes who we become. This is the second commandment. You shall not make idols. God's name was not a tool, not a curse, not a lie. To speak his name was to speak truth, honor, and reverence. This is the third commandment. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord. In a world of endless labor, God commanded rest. One day set apart. Rest was not weakness, it was trust. A rhythm for life designed by the Creator himself, reminding us that our value isn't based on what we produce. This is the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. This next command came with a promise. Honor builds stability. Respect builds generations. A society stands or falls on how it treats family. It's the first principle of social order, starting right in our own homes. This is the fifth commandment. Honor your father and your mother. Life is sacred. Every breath, every soul. This commandment stands as a powerful declaration of human value. No one has the right to unlawfully destroy what God has given. It's the ultimate protection for the innocent. This is the sixth commandment. You shall not murder. Faithfulness was not optional. Trust is fragile. Love requires protection. God guarded relationships because broken trust breaks lives, families, and communities. This law protects the covenant of marriage, the foundation of a healthy society. This is the seventh commandment. You shall not commit adultery. What belongs to another is not yours to take. Justice begins with respect for boundaries and property. This rule ensures fairness and order, preventing the chaos that comes from theft and greed. It's about respecting our neighbors. This is the eighth commandment. You shall not steal. Lies destroy faster than weapons. Truth protects the innocent. Truth holds society together. Our words have the power to build up or tear down, and this command calls us to use them for justice and integrity, not for personal gain or harm. This is the ninth commandment. You shall not bear false witness. This final command reached inside the heart. It wasn't about actions, but about desires, because envy poisons peace before a single word is spoken or a single act is committed. It teaches us to find contentment and joy in what we have, not in what others possess. This is the 10th commandment: you shall not covet. The people trembled, thunder roared, the trumpets sounded. They begged Moses to speak to God for them. The presence was overwhelming. Holiness always is. They saw the fire, they heard the voice, and they understood that these were not mere suggestions. They were divine principles for life itself. Moses stepped forward into darkness, into fire. Because leadership sometimes means standing where others cannot, bridging the gap between the divine and the human. God wrote the commandments on stone, not to change later, not to fade with time. They were meant to be a permanent foundation. Thousands of years have passed, yet these words still confront us. They ask, who do you trust? What do you value? How do you treat others? In our modern world of technology, ambition, and endless distraction, these ancient questions are more relevant than ever. The 10 Commandments were not chains, they were guardrails, given by a God who had already set his people free. They are a blueprint for a just, compassionate, and thriving society. Before laws, there was grace. Before commands, there was freedom. And at a mountain of fire, God spoke not to enslave humanity, but to show them how to live. These timeless words continue to echo through the ages, inviting every generation to build their lives on a foundation of truth, justice, and love. Comment yes if it was inspiring, and like and subscribe for more.